make a statement withdrawing from the regional bloc. It's unfortunate that what triggered it is what they felt was a disrespectful conduct towards them by the commission. I have cited an apology being rendered by the commission for what might have happened. So what we can do is to deal with the three countries to exercise strength and continue to engage with the rest of the sub-region. There has been some value in terms of being members of the regional bloc, and they should consider the value to their citizens of being able to move freely within the sub-regions in times past. I also have persisted in my position that the rest of the sub-region needs to invest in the security situation in these Sahel countries. If you recall, I ever advocated that we should even have some regional tax that should be used to invest in a standby force that can support countries that are facing serious security threats, such as the insurgencies and the jihadist activities that we have seen in these three countries. I believe that if the rest of the sub-region showed strong commitment to investing in the peace and security in these countries, we would have had a greater influence over those countries. But as it is, the investment though there's some expectation of it hasn't been adequate. And that is where I think that some citizens from those countries feel disillusioned about the efforts of the sub-region to address their problems. So I will urge the sub-region, beyond just looking at the issues of the relapse of some of those countries into military rule and the collapse of democratic institutions in those countries, to not forget that in the midst of all this, those countries are facing serious challenges by way of insecurity, insurgents, and the consequences on the lives of the people. I have a constituency that borders Burkina Faso, and several of my citizens who have crossed over to the Burkina side have been killed. Some were killed by the jihadists, others were killed by forces under the military regimes. And so I have a personal interest in having peace and security in these countries. So I will urge ECOWAS, in the context of trying to compel these military juntas to retreat into the barracks, to also be equally very interested in how we can deal with the obvious and real problem of insurgents, jihadists, and general insecurity in these countries.
Looking at that, they, with their statement and saying if it should take immediate effect, is it tenable by the protocols of ECOWAS? Can they do that?
Well, I mean, sovereign countries who decide to join a regional bloc can withdraw when they want to withdraw. So whether or not their decision reflects the will of the majority of their population is another matter, given that they are military junters. They obviously don't have the mandates of their citizens. So whether their decisions are popular, whether they reflect the will of their population is another matter. That a sovereign country, they can decide that they want to leave the bloc. Kenya was part of the bloc they left. So that can be.
Perhaps lastly, to find out from you, with all this, should ECOWAS change its approach in dealing with countries that have had a military coup in the sub-region?
Well, I don't believe that we can change our approach. We must continue to pressure them to return to democratic rule. And if that is what we are talking about as the approach that the military junters are resisting, we cannot also give up on that approach, because we cannot sit idly by and do nothing about military takeovers and of course the consequences that they will have for popular will, for the right of people to choose their leaders, and general security for the sub-region. So as for the approach, I will not say that because to change the approach, condemnation sanctions against those who choose to violently overthrow their governments and take over is something that we must stand by and not give in to military adventures.